Example number 8. What a wacky looking example. Is this a type of function that actually exists? Turns out, yes it does. Okay, so our goal is to find the derivative of this thing. How do we go about it? Turns out it's going to work exactly the same way as problem number 3, problem number 5, and it shouldn't be any more difficult than that. Hopefully. You just have to know how to derive sine. So setting this equal to y, we have sine of x all to the sine of x power. Kind of weird. That's okay. We can still use our log rules because we have a function in x in the exponent. So taking natural logs of both sides gives us sine, let's go sine of x to the sine of x power. Okay, now we're good. Now we're going to take the sine that is in the exponent of the expression on the inside of the log and then bring it down in front. This is not part of the derivative, mind you, it's just a log rule. It just happens to look like the power rule. Okay, so this gives us sine of x times the natural log of sine of x. Okay, so now we've gotten everything out of the exponent. We've used log rules as much as we possibly could. So now what we're going to do is derive both sides. So deriving the left, this is going to give us y prime over y, as always. And then we need to derive the right-hand side using the product rule, as always, it seems. So let me do this in blue and purple. So the first function is blue. Let's derive that. So that's cosine of x. And then you'll leave the second one alone. So it's just natural log of sine of x. All right. And then you add on, you leave the first alone. So you have sine of x. And then you have to derive this natural log of sine of x. So that's going to be 1 over sine of x times the derivative of the inside of the log. That is the derivative of sine. Turns out that is equal to cosine, as you know. There we go. Let's clean this up just a little bit because I'm picky. Hum-de-dum. Oh, look at that. Sine times 1 over sine. Those kill each other. That's convenient. That's why I like trying to clean things up, because sometimes magic happens. There we go. Hey, notice I can also factor out a cosine of x, because I have a cosine of x in both terms. Let's pull that out too. So we have cosine of x times everything that's left behind. So we have natural log of sine of x plus 1. There we go. So I've simplified this as much as I possibly could, factored some stuff off just for the sake of neatness. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to multiply both sides by y. So I can kill the y's on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side, put the y there. So that way I have y prime is equal to cosine of x times natural log of sine of x plus 1 times y. But y, like what we were given at the very beginning of the problem, is equal to sine of x to the sine of x power. So let's plug that in where we see y. So sine of x to the sine of x power. And that's the answer. As ugly as it is, it'll do.